In this video, we explore the mystery behind the story of a brave and successful hero. Her name is Amelia Earhart. It was a warm summer day in 1897, in the state of Kansas in the United States. A baby girl was born. No one knew that this little girl would one day become one of the greatest symbols of the sky. That little girl's name was Amelia Earhart. Amelia was a little different from other children her age. She was not the quiet, rule-following girl society expected girls to be at the time. She loved climbing trees, going on exciting adventures, and discovering new things. From a very young age, she carried within her a powerful sense of freedom that she could not quite explain at that time. The world was changing rapidly. New technologies were being developed everywhere, and machines were transforming daily life. But the sky was still a vast mystery waiting to be explored. Airplanes had only just begun to appear. For many people, the idea still seemed unbelievable. The thought that humans could fly like birds felt impossible. During her young adult years, Amelia worked as a nurse. She also worked as a teacher and held several different jobs. But the moment that would change her life had not yet arrived. Until one day in 1920, when she went to watch an air show. That day, Amelia flew in an airplane for the very first time. The feeling changed her entire life. The flight lasted only a few minutes, but those few minutes completely transformed Amelia's destiny. When she stepped off the plane, she turned to her friend and said only one sentence: "I have to fly." From that moment on, Amelia began spending all her money and energy on flying lessons. The lessons were extremely expensive, and becoming a female pilot at that time seemed almost impossible. People laughed at her and mocked the idea, insisting that flying was not suitable for a woman. But Amelia refused to give up. Flying had become her reason for living. After many efforts, she learned to fly in a relatively short time and eventually bought her own airplane. Soon after, flight attempts turned into records. By 1928, she became one of the first women to cross the Atlantic Ocean by airplane. However, during that flight, Amelia was not the one piloting the aircraft. Because of this, she did not feel truly satisfied. She wanted a real achievement of her own. In 1932, she did something almost no one dared to attempt. She decided to cross the Atlantic Ocean alone, and something incredible happened. Amelia Earhart became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. She had done it. This achievement instantly made her world famous. Newspapers were filled with her photographs. People saw her as a symbol of courage and inspiration. But for Amelia, this was only the beginning. She still had many goals ahead. She was determined to continue, pushing the limits of the sky. By the mid-1930s, Amelia had set a new goal. It was one of the most difficult aviation challenges in human history. She wanted to fly around the world. It was an incredibly bold idea. At that time, such a mission was extremely dangerous. Navigation technology was far behind what we have today. Radar systems did not exist. Finding direction in the middle of the ocean was incredibly difficult. But for Amelia, none of these were reasons to give up. She was not afraid. For this journey, she would use a specially equipped aircraft for that era. The airplane was called the Lockheed Electra. On this journey, she would be accompanied by an experienced navigator named Fred Noonan. All preparations were completed in 1937. The world flight began. The plane took off from the United States and traveled through South America to Africa. From there, it continued to India, then Southeast Asia, and finally toward Australia. The journey was extremely difficult. Severe storms, long flights, and limited fuel constantly created great risks. Despite all these challenges, Amelia and Fred managed to overcome every obstacle. Finally, they reached the most dangerous part of the journey, the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific is the largest ocean in the world, and under the conditions of that time, it was considered one of the most difficult places for navigation. Amelia's next destination was a tiny island. It was called Howland Island. The problem was that the island was so small that it looked like almost nothing, more than a tiny dot in the middle of the ocean. On the morning of July 2, 1937, Amelia and Fred took off from New Guinea. They needed to complete a flight of nearly 1,000 kilometers. The first hours of the flight went normally, but later the radio signals began to weaken. Amelia tried to communicate with ships using her radio, but the signal kept cutting out at one point. Amelia's voice was recorded saying, "We are running low on fuel and cannot see you." These words became one of the last messages recorded in history. Shortly afterward, the radio went silent. And the airplane disappeared. Somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, there were no signs, no trace. The world was shocked. Without wasting any time, one of the largest search operations in United States history was launched. Navy ships, aircraft, and thousands of personnel searched the Pacific. Days passed, then weeks, then months, but no trace was ever found. No airplane, no Amelia, no Fred Noonan. Eventually, the search operations were stopped, but the mystery never ended. Over the years, many theories have been proposed. Some researchers believe Amelia ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. Others believe the plane made an emergency landing on a remote island and that Amelia survived. there for some time. There are even conspiracy theories. One of them claims that the Japanese captured Amelia, but the truth has never been confirmed. Even today, historians and researchers continue to search for answers. The depths of the Pacific Ocean may still be hiding its secrets, but one thing is certain: Amelia Earhart was not just a pilot, she was a brave woman who was not afraid to chase her dreams. In an era when the sky was believed to belong only to men, she challenged the sky itself, and she proved something important to the world. Sometimes the greatest discoveries begin with brave steps into the unknown. Perhaps Amelia's plane still lies somewhere in the depths of the Pacific. Maybe one day it will be found. But Amelia Earhart's story has already become immortal because some people never truly disappear. They become legends. And Amelia Earhart continues to live on in history as one of the greatest legends of the sky. If you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.